Good afternoon and welcome to the Famicos podcast. My name is Erica Burnett. I'm the community director of community from their team, Councilman Kevin Conwell, Bashir Jones, Joe Jones, and Anthony Harrison. We love working with their staff and team to get the work done in our neighborhoods. So with that, we have some activities and some of the wards that are coming up. And then one of them is, I just want to talk about the Glenville Festival. This year we made some changes. We had a little bit of community feedback about some of the events that have taken place at the Glenville Festival because it hasn't been the same as people normally expect it to be. So I just want to talk a little bit about that and why the changes occurred the way they did. So this year we did a summer series, 3-part summer series, which started off with a children's event back in July?
Yes.
End of July. And our second event was the Glenville Live event, which we had live music. And our third event is the Senior Village. Now, on a normal year, that would be all one day and all part of one festival.
Yes.
We had to break it up this year because of COVID, and the permitting was not accessible to us. The mayor had to open permitting back up. And so when he did that, it gave us a little time to plan. So we decided it was in the best interest of the organization to split it up because the planning process is so tedious. So a lot of things had to be cut out, but we still was able to give something to the community this summer. So we're excited about that. We're excited about Senior Village. So if you're a senior, and I know most of the senior activities around the city have been shut down, so if you're a senior in the city, you are more than welcome to come. It's August 28th. We do ask that you register for that event so we can get a head count of who's coming. So that is August 28th, and it starts at 2 p.m., and there will be live music from Councilman Kevin Conwell and the Footprints. We have a DJ and food available and a host of resource tables. So that is available for the seniors 60 and over, and I don't have that phone number with me. But you can also go to Famicos' website, which is famicos.org, to get more information, or you can also call Famicos Foundation 216-791-6476 to get information on how to register for their senior Glenville Festival event.
And this is a free cost to them, correct?
It is free.
It is free.
And if you live in an apartment building in Ward 9, you can get transportation. Whether you're in a wheelchair, there's free transportation, but you must live in an apartment building in Ward 9 or Ward 10. And you also call that phone number to get the information for that.
So that's exciting.
That is
this
exciting.
Going to be on the same site that the Glenville Festival has always been on?
It's the same site, so that's Sam Miller Park.
Yes.
Where it's traditionally have been off at 88th and St. Clair. And there's also a banner going across 88th and St. Clair advertising the activity. So that is exciting. I'm excited. It's almost over. This is like our end of summer closeout event. So we hope to see you guys there. And I think that is next week.
Right. It is.
Next week.
Yeah,
so
already here.
It's already here.
So it's kind of like the end of the summer event.
Yep.
So we're excited for that.
So what else is coming up? Back to school. Everybody ready to go back to school? I know some of the parents are. Full time back to school. So with that, of course, we have back to school events coming up. And I know a lot of the schools around the city, CMSD schools, have back to school events coming up. And some of our CMSD partners in Ward 9 is having back to school events. And one in particular is Mary Bethune Elementary School, which is located at 11815 Moulton Road. And that is tomorrow.
Yes.
So we are having also at that same event a ribbon cutting. We have a new Kaboom Park space for teenagers to do some tennis and I believe soccer. It's a little soccer court. So tomorrow is that ribbon cutting. And I definitely, before we move on to our next event, give a shout out to our Cleveland Foundation fellow, Deanna James, who put this event together. She's focused on our Purpose Built initiative, which is the focal point of that work is Mary Bethune Elementary School in the Glenville neighborhood. So shout out to her, and she's also departing from us at the end of the month. So we want to
Another,
appreciate. I know. So we want to give a shout out to her because we appreciate her service. She was with us for 1 year, and she did an outstanding job on the work at Mary Bethune and in the neighborhood. Anything else you want to add?
Well, so the food, we'll have food there, and ice cream truck will be there for the kids. And again, as Erica had brought out, this is a new park that was just built and put together. So it'll be excited to have all the kids and parents and to be there to support this event for the children. And this is from 4 to 6, I believe.
Yes, 4 to 6 tomorrow.
4 to 6 tomorrow. So come on out, kids, and everyone is welcome. So looking forward to seeing everyone there.
Absolutely. So the other back to school events coming up, we actually have 2 more. One I don't have the date for yet, but one that I do have the date for is August 28th, and that's going to be at the East Side Market on St. Clair East 105. And that event starts at 10 a.m. And there will be backpacks given away at that event also, but there also will be some lead work done. So we're doing education on lead in homes in the Glenville neighborhood. So come on out, and they'll be raffling off a lot of great prizes as it relates to keeping your home lead safe for the children in the community. So, which is also a segue to our lead program that we have. That is for the Glenville neighborhood in particular. This program is really focusing on keeping homes lead safe for our children 6 and under. So if you live in the Glenville neighborhood, I'm going to give a phone number for you to call to get an application. So we are in partnership with the city of Cleveland, taking applications to get lead removed from homes. And the person that you would need to reach out to is Telawanda Moore, and her phone number is 216-307-6047. So you can reach out to her to begin your application process, and then we can start getting our homes lead safe. And we're working in 2 areas, small areas of Glenville. We're not in the entire neighborhood, but there are other partners in Glenville that can help you if you're not in the areas that we serve. But the areas that we're focusing on is between Superior and Wade Park. It's pretty much near Mary Bethune Elementary School. So if you live around Mary Bethune Elementary School in Glenville, give us a call. You may qualify for that program or other programs that the city of Cleveland may offer. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Shanita to talk about the work we're doing with vaccinations.
Vaccines. That has been a topic going on for quite some time. And we are going to continue to talk about it until we can get everyone vaccinated, as many as possible, Americans vaccinated as possible in the community. So we have another clinic going on August 25th with these vaccines, and we are promoting this because if everyone know about the new variant that's going on, the Delta variant. Is that correct?
That is correct.
That we have going on. So we weren't talking about this last year, and here we are talking about it this year. We heard rumors about something else, and now we want to protect you, everyone as possible with this. But this is about the COVID vaccine. So we are giving out a $50 gift card. This is with Mac Pharmacy that is new to the 105th area. They're located at 10414 St. Clair Avenue, 44108. They're open from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday, and 10 a.m. And 3 p.m. I believe Saturday and Sunday. And they also do delivery as well with prescriptions and things like that. You can contact them to get more information. But that clinic would go on again August 25th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. It just open to everyone. There is no special registration or anything like that. If you do want to ride or something like that, you can contact Famicos at 791-6476. That's 216-791-64716 to connect with us to register to get a ride.
Where is this located?
And this is located again at Mac Pharmacy at 10414 St. Clair Avenue. That's where we will be at, and we will be giving out the COVID vaccines there, first and second shots. And I'm not for sure yet which vaccine that will be given there at that time. It will either be Moderna or what's the other one? Pfizer. Goodness, I forgot. But so we'll know at that time. But for more information, we will have more as the time get closer. But not 90% of the time, I'm sure. 90%, I'm sure it would be Moderna. To be honest, if we can clear the record up now, it would be Moderna. Let's just clear that up right now. It will be Moderna. We will be given that. That will be the vaccine for August 25th. And again, it's $50 for your first vaccination for the COVID vaccine. So please are all welcome. Again, it's 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. only, and no registrations are needed. You can walk up and get that. This is, do I want to talk about the mask mandates?
You can. The most controversial topic.
I want to be clear on this. You're saying
Yes.
if I come and get a shot, I get $50?
You do.
Yes.
And the shot.
Yes. No insurance is required for this.
But if you have your insurance card, bring it.
Insurance card and ID, please bring it. But it's not recommended. But if you do have it, we would accept it. But it's not required.
So do you get a second $50 for the second shot?
You do get a second $50 for the second shot as well. So
I've already been vaccinated.
So please, contact, come get vaccinated. We've all had ours here.
Yes.
Did you have yours? Because I know for sure we've had ours. So
we've been vaccinated for some time now.
Yes, we have.
So just want to give that shout out to Mac Pharmacy, who's been a great partner in getting vaccinations to our seniors. Yes. We've done a couple of maybe 3 or 4 vaccination clinics with them.
Yes, a
and
few.
Then we have also partnered with the Cleveland Clinic, who's been a great partner in getting vaccinations out to the community. The National Guard and Case Western Reserves.
Yes.
And can't forget the city of Cleveland, who supplies a lot of the vaccinations to I believe, Case Western Reserve. So shout out to them. We've been partnering with them for almost since the vaccines have come out.
Yes.
And this, as we do this work, we're also looking at the unknown. We don't know what's going to happen. We're at the forefront of this work. So it's been a lot of learning curves as we roll out vaccination clinics throughout the city. It's very different when you don't know, when this work has never been done before. So we have definitely learned some best practices out of this work and how to put on vaccination clinics the right way,
right?
And so that we can get you in and out.
Yes, and with forms and sending a line and registration, we're trying to do the best we can. I just left the clinic with Mac Pharmacy just before getting here on the podcast, so we're all doing the best we can to work together to move as quickly as we can and safely, and to make the worries and questions that everyone has to do it as fast as possible and get everyone, vaccinated.
Yeah.
So,
yes.
Any more questions?
Michael's over here keeping us on our toes,
yes,
right?
Does it involve a vegetable? Mm-hmm. Any vegetables? Does it involve vegetables?
It will.
It's coming. The vegetable part is coming. So, is there anything else, Shanita, that we have missed that before we get into our next segment? Is there any upcoming?
I do want to say this too. Please, if you have already been vaccinated, no, you cannot get the vaccine again. Don't try it. It's not safe to do it at all. Just to get the $50. Don't do it. It's not. No, don't do it.
But tell a friend who hasn't.
Yes.
Refer them. And if they have any questions, you can always call us, and then we have information about vaccinations that we can always give out to our residents that we got from our partners over at Case and Cleveland Clinic. So the information is available out there. Do we know if Cleveland Clinic is doing any upcoming vaccination clinics?
Yeah,
For the
I don't
public?
know the dates, but they are still doing
So you
theirs.
can always reach out to Cleveland Clinic as well. They have a neighborhood location in Langston on Quincy, the Langston Hughes Medical Facility. So that is open for the community, and you can get a plethora of information about anything health related. So I think that's it for all of our upcoming stuff. So on to the meat of this podcast. And this is the reason why Mr. Walton is here. So Mr. Walton is from Food Depot to Health, and he is here representing that organization who is our market managers for the Gateway 105 Farmers Market. So we welcome you, Mr. Walton, to our podcast again.
Glad to be here.
Oh, great. So, can you tell us about the other half of your organization, the person that's not here?
So my wife, Veronica Walton, has been the market manager since 2011, and really excited about helping people have access to good, healthy food. And so that's why she wanted to be the market manager. Has really spent a lot of time and energy learning how to do it better, traveling across the country, being in seminars, and in the past few years actually being a presenter at some of those events. So a wealth of knowledge and expertise around market managing, and really finding out how to make it happen in an urban setting, because that's a unique setting, especially an urban setting in an African American community. And we're just grateful that Famicos has continued to support that for the past 10 years. I guess this would
It's
be
been our 10th,
technically
this is our 10th
our
year.
10-year anniversary.
It is.
Wow.
Including the pandemic and not
Yes.
being open last year.
We've been closed for 2 years, the farmers market, unfortunately.
And I think that has been felt by some of the vendors, because it's sort of hard restarting, not as much the vending part, but as the connection with the community. We do have some people that really have supported us, come consistently, been there regularly. They're mostly people who live in the Glenville neighborhood, have been supportive for years and years. And we've got some vendors that have been real consistent too. Some
Absolutely.
of them that even do other markets on Saturday, which we do, and they still come to the Gateway Saturday. So that's a
Commitment,
unique part of
yeah.
Right.
this year. It's the first year that we've been open 2
2
days
days.
a week. So we're open Fridays from 3 to 7, and Saturday from 1 to 4.
Yep.
And the address for the market is 1322 East 105th Street. And it's that new market building that you've seen up. Has it been up for 3 years?
Yes. Up but not open.
Up but not open. So we had our
Yes.
grand opening a month ago, and we're definitely in there on Friday and Saturday, literally rain or shine.
That's right.
Because having the building, we can be there no matter what the weather is. And we've got vendors that are selling produce, we've got bakers, we've got a really knowledgeable herbalist. We have Amish cheese and sauces, salsa, and relishes. We've also got a number of people that are vending. We've got some folks that are selling creams and lotions, tie-dyed clothing, incense and oils, jewelry. We've also this year started selling plants, so we sell house plants and veggies. And you can even still buy veggie plants right now. I know in Cleveland we're used to starting things around Memorial Day, but there are about 20 crops that you can still grow in August and September. And it's mostly things that don't need a pollinator. So if you come by and you see we're selling onion starts, or you can even still grow some mustard greens, radishes,
Wow.
other things
Yeah.
that will start in August and September, and you can harvest them. Some things, radishes, you can harvest in
30 days. Yeah.
Um,
My favorite.
pea shoots, you can harvest in 30 days.
Ooh, they
You
are
won't
good
get
too.
beans,
But you
but
get the
you
shoots.
can also start Blue Lake beans and some other things if you start them in a place that'll be warm. So if you grow them like close to your house, the ambient heat from your house will heat them. You can get a small greenhouse from Amazon.
About to buy one.
Right, and when I say small, I mean something
You get put on your porch and
about my height, which is not high, but big enough that you could walk in and a footprint about the size of this table or
Yeah.
twice the size.
absolutely.
And you can just keep your things warm enough that even without having gas or electric heat in it, just imagine your car on a sunny day in December.
Right.
It could be 80 degrees and
Yeah.
sun in it.
Yeah.
Right.
So you
right.
can still keep some things warm
Warm
enough.
in there. Yeah.
And also protecting them from the snow, because collards
And
and
frost.
kale don't need it warm, but if we get a heavy snow, it's gonna
Yeah.
break the leaves and
Yes.
you won't have them.
Yeah. That's great.
Collard, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's a
You
winter.
can start
Yeah.
collards now.
Yeah.
And you can also eat them small. I'm used to selling collard greens about this size, but I can eat them
It's small.
this size.
Yeah.
Right.
They're a little tenderer, and anytime they've been hit by the frost, they'll be sweeter.
Sweeter. Yeah.
And the reason for that is because most of the plants in that collard green family actually produce more sugar as antifreeze when it gets cold.
Ah.
And that's why some people say they like their greens after the
The
first frost, but
yeah.
I can't wait that late.
I can't either. I just get excited to see it growing.
Right. I'll enjoy the ones that come after the frost, but I also like the ones that come at the 4th of July
Oh.
and
Yeah.
beyond that.
Yeah, they get so big too, and I'm like, I can't just leave. Can't just leave it there.
Right. And the other thing about those plants, if you pick the leaves, it encourages the plant to grow more.
It does. That promotes new growth.
That's one of the part of the genetic makeup of those plants.
Wow.
So the more you pick them, the more they'll grow.
Wow.
We're getting this plant history.
Yes. Yes.
Plant lesson by Michael Walton.
Just
But
hungry.
Michael is always at the farmer's market every week. And along with him, by the time you get to every vendor, you had a whole educational. It's like you went to school when you go to that farmer's market because it's just so much wealth of knowledge.
It is.
And I love going there just to talk to the vendors, talk to Michael. It's all I learned so much from Michael and Veronica. So they're I call them my urban gardening teachers.
Yes.
And we've got another vendor there, Village Family Farm.
Yes.
That is located they're in two places now. So they're on the corner of Wade Park and
Ansel.
And then they're on the same footprint as the is it Martin Luther King building on Crawford. So
Yeah.
they're
That's what's
there,
up.
and
Yeah.
again, a wealth of knowledge
Yeah.
from their staff. They've been gardening
Absolutely.
for years, and whether you're talking to the people who are baking or making tie-dye or I had a rash on my arms. I bought some cream from one of the vendors, and literally I told her we need to do an ad because after a couple weeks the rash was gone. I still don't know what it was.
She
but
told me that too, that you bought that cream. Not gonna tell you what I bought from her. But she has great creams, guys.
Yeah,
You
she
should come.
really does.
She does.
They have the magical creams.
She
If you
does.
know what I mean, just come
She
by and
does.
check it out. Yes,
She really does.
it's awesome.
And we've got, like I said, vendors who've been with us almost from the beginning, and
Well, yeah, let's talk about that.
right.
With some of those vendors, and then go back to Gateway 105 pre-building, like those vendors that was with us when we were popping up tents on the corner of Ashbury and East 105, and that was our beginnings. And we've graduated to a building,
Right.
but we were there the majority of our Gateway 105 life. We've been on that corner, and that's what most people come to how they know us. So talk about some of those vendors that have just been with us from day one. That's
Well,
still here.
Two of my favorites are bakers who are still with us, Charissa and Yvonne Lamar, who makes pies.
Yes.
And people, so when you talk about favorite things that people are coming back for, I like the fact that some of them come for the vegetables, because that's my passion.
Right.
But
Yeah.
we definitely have people that come from all over
Just for those pies.
for the pies. Yvonne makes a vinegar pie that I had
Absolutely.
never even heard
Thought.
of before, and I've been eating for almost 62 years.
I had never heard of it till she came around. Never.
Right.
And it is definitely my favorite.
It is my favorite also.
And one of the other vendors, Pete, who sells plants and veggies, his father came by and had one of the pies, and after that he ordered 4,
They are so good.
and then ordered a 9-inch, a large pie.
Yeah.
She'll make a sweet potato pie that has pineapple in it, bean pies, all kinds of things.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then the other baker who's been with us, I don't know if it was from the beginning, but she's been with us so long it seems like she was there day one. Charissa, who is actually a trained chef. She actually went to France to learn how to make croissant. And to teach me how to say it. Because it's not a croissant.
It's
And she talked about how many times you have to fold the dough to make it as flaky as it is.
Ooh, sounds good.
Yeah. And the other thing I like about our vendors is they focus on making sure that our community can afford their produce and
absolutely.
their products. So
That is so
the
true.
creams that I bought from Lucy's Grand, which is
That's her.
Lucy's granddaughter.
Yes.
Um,
She has a wonderful story behind that.
Right, were reasonably priced. Charissa has most of her things priced at $5,
She does.
and so does Yvonne, and
Yep.
they're worth more than that.
Yeah, they absolutely, absolutely, especially the pies. We stress those pies are delicious.
And so, when you come, you're not going to expect Whole Foods prices from
Absolutely.
the food vendors.
Right.
They're affordable
They're affordable.
and they're locally
Right.
grown. Let's
Right.
specify.
Right.
We can talk about that too. So I think a lot of people, one of the things that in the beginning, when we, the beginning, we struggled with the learning curves of how farmers market actually work and versus a grocery store. So it's a farmers market concept versus the grocery store. You're not going to go into a farmers market and find bananas. You're not going to find things that grow in a tropical environment. You're going to find things that's grown in our environment. And if we can have an extended growing season with a hoop house, you may get those things a lot longer. So we've come a long way because in the beginning we had to wait for a couple months for things to actually grow so people would come and be very disappointed. So just have to know what to expect. Don't come with this high expectation. I'm going grocery shopping. It's not a grocery store. These are people who actually get out and sweat and grow this stuff, and it's literally farm to table. You don't have to worry about traveling 1,500 miles to get to your plate or go to a grocery store. We cut out the middleman and get it directly to your plate. So, Michael, talk a little bit about that farm to table concept so people understand and what they expect to see when they come to Gateway.
Right. Well, when you talk about farm to table, it really is so fresh that, again, because our garden is on 79th and Superior, Village Friendly Farms is literally right around the corner. Sometimes, if we run out of something and there's 2 of us from one of the entities, we'll literally, you want some more collard greens? Can you wait 15 minutes? We're all out.
Yeah.
But we still have some at the garden.
That's
we'll
right.
go get
Right,
you some
right,
if you can
right.
wait. And the thing that people really recognize about fresh food is it tastes
So much better.
It tastes and it smells.
I can't say that enough.
I can't, yeah.
The tomatoes. I just start with it.
And that's one I always use to people because we eat tomatoes a lot, and if you've ever seen a tomato that's supposed to be red and it's light red, it's not ready yet, and yet McDonald's and other folks will
slice it and put it
buy
on your
tons of them and slice it and put it on your sandwich. You know, or we've had people say, well, I don't really like kale because it's too bitter. Old kale is bitter. Fresh picked kale is not bitter.
It's delicious.
And some varieties are almost sweet. And so understanding that the food came from down the street, around the corner, somewhere in Cuyahoga County.
Absolutely.
Sometimes we source things from Geauga County, but literally everything is within half an hour of the market.
Right.
And so we're really focusing on getting people fresh food so that they can, you know what, really, for many of us, the reason we come is because we're trying to help people live longer and better. And we know that you are what you eat.
You are what you eat.
And if you're eating hot fries and corned beef every day, then Cleveland Clinic and University Hospital and Metro are going to see you a lot.
Right.
That's right.
And the health disparities that we have in our community start with our lifestyle.
Starts with what we put in our body.
What we put in our body, what we eat, drink, and smoke. If you smoke nothing, you've cleared that one up already.
Right.
And, you know, eating, we have to eat. You can't not eat.
Right.
But you can eat better. You
can
can
eat healthy.
You can eat in a way that sustains your life and encourages it.
Absolutely.
And fresh local food is a big part of that.
Yes.
And we have cooking demonstrations.
Absolutely.
Because a lot of times we'll have something in the market that people either haven't seen or the traditional way of cooking it takes too long.
Yes. we had a cooking demonstration last week, and it made the chef made some zucchini pancakes.
Right.
Those were really, really good, and she got all the ingredients right out of the farmer's market that day, because we have a sink there, we can wash the stuff. So it's not going. We do clean it.
Right.
So, but I said that to say, you know, last week I saw eggplants are starting to be harvested.
Right.
It's one of the biggest, trickiest plants that you can have, and most people don't know what to do with an eggplant. So they're beautiful purple little things. I was like, oh, some of the growers have eggplants. So I said to the chef, I said, hey, you got some eggplant recipes? Because most people don't know what to do with an eggplant, because I'm not going to buy eggplant if I don't know how to cook it. But that's what the chef is there to demonstrate, how to take these things that we may not know how to cook, that grows right in our backyard or can grow right in your backyard, and create a recipe for it. So she's also going to start bringing back the recipe cards, because a lot of people ask for that. So the recipe cards are coming back, which is great. So as she cooked that food, so 4 o'clock, between 4 and 4:30 on Fridays, the cooking demonstrations start. And then, you know, you can ask her all the questions you want about what she's doing. And most of her stuff, like if is gluten-free, or she goes to Whole Foods a lot to get a lot of the other ingredients that may go into that recipe. So everything, we don't do anything with meat at the farmer's market. Everything is vegan. So if you are curious about vegan and you need to eliminate dairy from your diet, that is the chef to talk to. So her name is Chef Sherelle Boyd. So come see her at 4 o'clock on Fridays. Does she come Saturday still?
So she comes most Saturdays. So on Fridays, the cooking demonstration and the samples are free. Yeah. And then on Saturday, she cooks prepared food for sale. Which is still...
It's still reasonable. It's like $5 for a meal.
Reasonable price. Yeah. And fresh food. And sometimes she'll even buy from the vendors for that day too.
Oh, that's great.
Right.
And that's how to do it.
Yes.
and again, so that people can see how you can cook it. And the thing I really like about her demonstrations is that she is done in about half an hour. So people can see that
it's quick.
You can go from, I just bought this to I can eat this in half an hour.
Right.
And, you know, some of the things you microwave take 20 minutes.
That's true. That is so true. And we know it's not healthy for you.
If you get one of those family size lasagnas that's frozen,
It can
it's
take,
going to take longer.
Right.
It will.
Right. Right.
About 40 minutes.
Right.
And it's not,
Especially
it's
you stick
so
it in the
much
oven.
sodium and
It's
not
loaded.
healthy
Right.
at all.
Yeah, so Veronica and I talked a lot about bringing canning demonstrations because it's a lot of things to learn when it comes to growing your own food. Canning is one of them, how to can your food and so to preserve it longer. Those type of things that people may want to learn. So we try to connect this educational component to the farmers market. So it's not just you coming in the shop, but you also have opportunity to learn. And then Michael can tell you about his last Vermin Composting workshop, which was last week. And a lot of people don't know what that is, what it's for, but you can tell them.
I can tell them. I had it on my list, but thank you for
Oh,
setting
you're
me
welcome.
up. And before I do that, I wanted to say we do one thing with meat, sort of.
Okay.
So we have a vendor who grows rabbits for meat or for pets, but he can't sell the meat there. But he can make arrangements if you
Are into
or your
rabbits.
grandfather like rabbit.
Yes.
He's shaking his head.
Well, I know about the rabbit. My father was a country man. Yeah, so he'll bring home a rabbit, a raccoon, you name it. He just bring that stuff home. So
Yeah,
Yes.
my grandfather was the same way. He'd go hunting, and we said, "What are you hunting for? Food."
food, it's
He
coming
said,
on your
if
plate.
it moves, I'm shooting it. So
Right.
stay behind me.
Absolutely.
And
Well, that's good to know. So that's kind of like a outsource of the
right,
Yeah.
Gateway 105. You
right.
can get some rabbits.
You can get some rabbits delivered.
Come to Michael when you come to the farmer's market and ask him about that rabbit. I can get some rabbit. They say it tastes like chicken. It don't.
It
don't.
don't.
It tastes
It does
like
not.
wild.
It
It
tastes
ta-
like
it-
wow.
It does not taste like chicken, people.
No. No, it doesn't.
No chicken I've had.
No
At
chicken I've
all.
had either.
And we do have some people who started laying chickens
Oh,
this
yeah,
spring.
Pete said he-
So we
yeah.
will have eggs,
Eggs.
hopefully, before the end of our season.
I can't wait. I just can't tell you how excited I am about. I can't wait.
And you know, that's the other thing. Fresh eggs
Oh, my
tastes
goodness.
so much different than
Yes, I've had fresh
big
eggs.
farm
Yeah.
eggs.
Yeah.
Because literally when you talk about you are what you eat, so are the chickens. And if all they're eating is corn, then that's what they are. That's what they're gonna taste bland. But if they're eating, like most of the people who grow chickens in their yard, feed them table scraps like greens and lettuce and things of that nature. They walk around the yard and eat bugs. If you're afraid of snakes, you might want to have some chickens because chickens will eat a snake.
Oh, that's good to know. That's real good to know. I just learned something new right there. Duly noted.
And we were at one market where they had
Never mind. now.
free range chickens, and we had to literally move our produce because they kept trying to eat our collard greens. It's like,
Really?
these are not for you unless you got some money.
Right. It's like, oh, okay. We don't.
But they
Thanks
like
for bringing
a lot
us
of the
lunch.
food we like,
Okay.
and they eat bugs.
Okay.
That is awesome.
So we have a number of things planned at the market, and one of them that we had last weekend was a composting workshop. And in years past, we've done composting workshops that were primarily focused on putting food scraps in a bin and turning your, well, let me narrow that down. Not food scraps, but produce scraps.
Yes.
In a bin that will decompose in a way that, if it's done right, is not real smelly, but will give you very rich, dark compost. In a bin, it takes about 3 months. There's another way to do it that we demonstrated last week, and also gave out the kit, which is called Vermin Composting. And it's basically using worms to compost food
Oh, I heard
scraps.
of that. Yeah.
And you can do it on a large scale, but we started people with a bin that's about this high, 3 drawers, and we gave them the bin, the worms, and the worm bedding. so that they could get started creating really good fertilizer at home.
And soil.
And our goal is that if people are going to be growing at home, we really want them to be growing as naturally as possible.
Yes.
And
Yes.
if they can have fertilizer that comes from food scraps that worms create for them, they don't have to be tempted to go to Home Depot and buy something.
They don't know what they mind.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, it's almost like with food. If I'm reading a food label and it sounds like a science project, I shouldn't be eating it.
Yes. Yes.
That's
And
true.
neither should I be putting science project fertilizer in my food, because
Right.
You don't know what's in it.
we don't know what's in it.
If you can't pronounce it,
Right, if you can't pronounce it,
That's what they say.
you should not
you
be
shouldn't
eating
be
it.
eating it. You shouldn't be putting it on your food.
But we do it every day. That's a habit we have to break.
And
Healthy, clean eating.
healthy, clean eating.
Yeah.
You know, Miracle Grow will grow you some big plant.
It sure will, but no, we don't use that.
But
But as some folks call them Frankenfoods, like Frankenstein. Like, what did you do to that plant to get it to be this big?
That's right.
Miracle Grow.
Don't use it.
And
do we just hate
and so the
shade or shade?
we
I'm
had
throwing my
really good
shade.
attendance at our composting workshop. I think we had 16 people.
Wow, that's
And,
good.
Awesome.
they
Really good.
asked a lot of questions. They were really engaged, and it was funded by a grant from the Cleveland Foundation through Neighborhood
Neighborhood
Connections.
Connections.
Oh,
Yes.
nice.
They were really interested in making sure local growers had funding this year, and so they had a grant that was real easy to write the
apply
proposal
for.
apply for, and I think the grant was generally $1,500.
It was $1,500. Yeah, I was think that was the max.
Right.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of growers that got it, and we
got it
decided
too.
to use ours to help people start the process of vermin composting. You know, you can start it in that small scale, and as the worms create more worms,
Worm casting.
well, both worms and worm castings, fertilizer.
Fertilizer. We'll just call it that.
You can increase the size of your vermin composting process. So what we gave them is a nice starter, and if people want to stick with that, they can do that. But sort of the next step, if they want to grow, would be a bin. We've all seen them, those black or gray bins
Yeah.
that you store things in.
Oh.
They're about 13 gallons is one common size. And that's a good one to move to the next size. And people that are growing a lot of produce could even do it in a bin that's about the size of 4 pallets put together, 3 by 3 by 3, 3 feet
Yeah.
deep, 3 feet wide, 3 feet high. And that's a good next step.
So what type of worms did you give them?
So there's
gonna be my
a couple types of worms. Most of us are used to the backyard earthworms,
Right.
and they sort of eat down. And the earthworms that we use are called red wigglers,
Oh, I was gonna ask you what it. Yeah.
Yeah.
and they eat up. And so in the system that we gave them, the bottom bin was empty. The middle bin is where they put the worms.
Okay.
And then when they eat through everything that's in that middle bin, you put food in the next bin that's above them, and they sort of crawl
Crawl
through
up.
some holes up into the next bin.
Oh, okay.
And that way, when they're literally finished with the bin that they started in, you can literally pull that out and use it as fertilizer.
That's awesome.
If you don't have a stackable system, then you have to figure out how to get the worms separated from the compost so that you can use it. And it's not impossible to do that,
Yeah.
but it's just easier because of the way that they work anyway.
Right.
To just have a stackable system where they're gonna eat through to the next level once they've eaten everything that you put below them.
That's awesome. We learned a whole lot today.
Yes, I did.
I've seen it in
good.
Vermin Compost and other systems, but I saw you building the stacks last week, so
Right.
Did you do a video?
that's a good idea.
We have another class in conjunction with the Michael R. White Garden.
Yes,
And is the date of that
it's on the flyers. It's Saturday.
this coming Saturday?
Yes,
Okay,
10 a.m.
that sounds right. This
Yes.
coming Saturday at 10 a.m.
At the address is 1000 East 92nd. You will enter from the driveway side is on Park Gate, and then you would drive to the rear of that driveway to get to the garden. And you'll get to the vermin composting class, and you can register. Michael, you can tell them there is registration on your website.
Yes, and our website, our organization is called Food Depot to Health, and the registration, but the website is FD, the numeral 2, health.org. FD, the numeral 2, health.org.
Awesome.
And the registration is free, but we just need to know how many people are coming. It'll be about an hour, maybe a little longer with questions and answers, but the content will be an hour. And you'll leave with the system that I talked about, where you get the stackable worm bin, worms, and the worm bedding to get started with, and some instruction on what to do when you get it home.
Awesome. So is there any other activities coming up? I think we had one already there too. So Janita can talk about rain barrels, and then I'll let Michael talk about his work in rain barrels too.
All
So
right.
we had you want to tell us about the city project?
Actually, we did not have a demonstration, did we?
It
What
was a
happened?
pickup.
It was just a pickup. Okay,
Yeah.
so the city has done it for what?
Right.
Yeah.
We because of COVID, we had to rearrange that. He thought it was going to be a class too. He did come because we thought we were
did.
going to have a class.
And
We
talk
all
to
thought
residents, yeah.
we all thought that changed all at the last minute, and we end up having just them explain it, and he was there if they had any questions about it.
Okay.
And the kids, there's some kids, some volunteer through
It's YOU.
YOU. They explained how the kid went.
Right.
Yeah, it was a kid that came with it and explained it. And then he also
The
actually
host.
gave me a whole education background about it, because
Absolutely.
I didn't know like how the rain you can use like it prevents like flooding, the rain barrels, and how expensive it actually is to actually buy one.
It's very expensive.
So to save you some money, you can register next year through the city of Cleveland. If you want to get on the list, you can do that, and you can contact the city of Cleveland, look at their website to do that. If you want to get on the rain barrel list, it is very. I think they're like $50 for the
55-gallon drum.
55
yeah.
gallon drum.
So they're huge.
Food. Great.
Yeah, and they
Yeah.
do save you, so save money for your
Your
water
sewer district.
bill and everything. So it is good to get on their list to get that, and
Get
a
it
lot
connected
of
to your house.
yeah, you can connect to your house. So it is very, very wise to do that, and people get on this waiting list, and the waiting list is very huge for people to.
Oh, we can
do
take
that.
some people off that list.
Yeah, so I was very surprised by it. I didn't know much about it, so. Like I said,
You haven't been working at Famicos long enough
No.
to know.
Working in the
You're
community,
learning.
I am learning all about the list I want to be a part of, and all the stuff I want to learn to be on, and about my yard and wiggle worms.
You got all the knowledge right.
Yeah.
Right.
So thank you for that.
And one big benefit of getting the rain barrels is the sewer district. If you go on their website, they have a calculator for how much they will
Reduce.
Yes.
reduce your
Yes.
sewer bill
Yes.
if you divert water from the sewer system. And so that's what a rain barrel does. You connect it to your downspout, and when the water comes down, it fills up the drum. You actually get a bigger discount the more drums you have.
Yeah.
There's a real simple way to connect two, three, four, five
Together,
next
yeah.
to each other,
Yeah.
so that you could divert 200
Right.
gallons of water.
Right.
At one of my gardens, I have three 325 gallon bins.
Cistern.
Yes.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, you told me that. Yeah. So you said it's better to get one like the front and the back. So
Yeah.
Right.
yeah.
Unless, again, you don't want. So there's two things: the rain barrels that the city gives, or that we have at Famicos, and we do a demonstration,
We do full.
are basically round blue or white drums. But I've also done some installations for people where they wanted something more decorative, so they're willing to spend some money to get something that wouldn't look out of place
Yeah.
on the front of their house or on their deck. So, and then there's a lady, Linda Zoltan Woods, who
Paint
paints rain barrels.
and teach classes.
Yes, and so you can be as plain or as creative as you want to be
Yes.
with the rain barrel, which is really functional, and it can be decorative if you want it to be.
Yeah, we had some cool ones that we had professionally painted with different people, famous Clevelanders on different rain barrels. Yeah, like Steve Harvey, Superfly, really cool rain barrels. But you can do these rain. It's a great art project too for
really
you. So Michael has been doing rain barrel workshops with Famicos and on his own for many, many years and providing that education. And he does an outstanding job of the workshops that happen. Typically, we do one or two a year. Typically, but we haven't done one this year. So we have to get COVID kind of just put a damper on a lot of things. So that's one of the things we definitely have to bring back. And now the farmers market is back open. It's usually where we have a lot of that type of education happen is at the farmers market. We have rain barrels brought in, and you can just take them home and get them connected. Can you talk about the connection process of how to connect the rain barrel to your house?
And that is one of the barriers we often find.
It is.
Because I was doing a project for a lady, and I was about to install the rain barrel. She said, "You're gonna cut my gutter?"
Yeah.
Not gutter, the downspout.
Downspout, yeah.
And I said, "Well, yes."
That's how it goes on.
And there's two systems. One is there's a Cleveland company called Ote that actually designed a sort of commercial rain barrel downspout diverter. I think it costs about $20, so not a lot. But again, if you're getting it through the city of Famicos, it's no cost to you. And you connect this to your rain gutter, the downspout, so that when the water's coming down, it initially diverts it into the rain barrel. And then when the rain barrel gets full, the diverter goes back to the water going through the downspout. And then the other way is you can buy parts, and that's typically what I've done from Home Depot,
Right.
where you literally create a diverter system that connects to the rain downspout. And there's a couple of things that you can do once the season changes. Some people disconnect their rain barrel, empty it, take it inside. Some people just disconnect the diverter. You definitely need to empty it because they will freeze and fill with water and burst.
Yeah.
The larger ones that I have not had them freeze except one year. And actually it wasn't the years that we had the -20s and people getting frostbite. But typically the more water mass you have, the less it'll freeze. Again, if it's right by your house, it may not freeze because of the ambient heat from the house. But again, the rain barrels are a great way to divert water so that you can use it to water your lawn, water your garden.
Yes.
And again, divert the water from the
Storm
sewer system.
storm sewer.
And if you've ever seen Doan Brook after a heavy rain,
The flooding.
yeah, you know, or if you've seen it 2 days after the flood and you see all the debris, the trees, the branches,
If you had to be rescued out of All of that flood. Some people have.
Right.
Some people have. So
And,
yes.
and so it's, it's an easy way to see why we need to divert water from the waterways and from the sewers, because we can get a flash flood that can
Anytime.
be dangerous.
Yes.
It's one of the reasons why we have pushed year after year to get rain barrels, and considering how close we are to Lake Erie, how close we are to Dome Brook, we're surrounded by waterways, and the more the neighborhoods can do their part in diverting that water. And then it's a great use at home, right? It's great for your plants, and people use it for their hair. It's a great use for just to collect that water and have. You never know, you might need it one day for something. But we are getting close to time. So, Michael, is there anything else we want to end on about the farmers market?
Yes, that we'll be having some events in November and December. So often we've had a December sale that was not just produce, but a lot of vendors who are selling things that could be Christmas gifts. Because a number of our growers do have hoop houses now, we will probably have greens and some other things definitely in November. So we're going to have one, maybe two sales in November. So keep your eyes and ears open. We'll probably post signs and communicate on Facebook and some other mediums and with some phone calls. So if you want to be on the robocall list, what's the Famicos phone number again, or how do they connect?
So if you want to get on the robocall list to find out any type of activities, the farmers market activities, anything that's happening in the neighborhood, you can just call us, 216-791-6476, extension 243 or extension 228, and we will add you to our robocall list. We send out robocalls every week about the farmers market and what's happening at the farmers market. So anything that's upcoming. So ideally, we're going to be shutting down the end of October, and then we'll have a couple markets like Michael stated, a couple in November for the holiday season, get you ready for your Thanksgiving dinner, and then again to get you prepared for your holiday dinners in December. So that is our show for today.
Our next one will be September 15th. See you.
September 15th. And you can always follow us on our social media platforms. We're on Twitter,
Please share, like,
Facebook, Instagram, and Gateway 105 has its own social media outlets too on Facebook and Instagram as well. So make sure you follow us.
Take care.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.